I have legitimately not played World of Warcraft in like 9 months. I was waiting for something to come out at BlizzCon, and I had to make this video because of how egregious one of their actions was. The whole BlizzCon was, it was okay. I mean, that's cool that we're getting 3 expansions at once, whatever. It's probably going to be new Blizzard schlop. Hopefully Metzin makes it better, but we'll see. This video is about how disappointed and heinous what Blizzard just did, that they also did in June with Diablo 4 with the early access. So in case you didn't know, Blizzard is charging people extra money basically to play the game on launch. And don't get this twisted, because everyone's going to say, oh, you get to play 3 days early. No, that's the launch. Everyone else gets to play 3 days late. So let's go ahead and look here on the website to see what we get. Base edition, $49.99. Let's just round all this up to 1 cent that it actually is. $50 for the base edition, $70 for the heroic edition. What does the heroic edition give you? It gives you 250 extra tradage tinder, a mount, a transmog, and that's it. So you're paying $20 extra for a mount and a transmog. That's it. Then what they really want you to buy is the epic edition, which is $90. That gives you a month access, or a month, to play WoW, 30 days of game time. So really, you're actually only paying what, $85 or $75 for this. So of course it's the better deal. They just want everyone to buy it. That's why they threw that in there. But they also want the 30 days of game time so that they can show investors and stuff and be like, oh, look, our numbers are up. So to buy the game, you're already going to have probably a subscription, plus you get the 30 days free. Cool. So that's just for their own numbers too. You get an extra pet, a Hearthstone effect, and a toy. Wow. The big thing is you get 3 days early access, and that is the most egregious part of this entire thing, and shows that Blizzard really doesn't care to make people pay 55.5% more just to get in 3 days early. Because you think about it, what is the most fun part of an expansion, at least to me and a lot of other veteran MMOs players, is the leveling with others. Like everyone starting out at the same time, everyone, waiting for that final countdown of the ship to come, or however you get to the new area, and then everyone jumping on the boat or whatever, and then seeing the expansion for the first time together. It's like amazing, and all like grouping up, doing dungeons together, seeing people out in the world that you normally won't see. After a couple days, no one's going to be in those areas anymore. So it's nice seeing all that. Another thing is the economy. People are saving up for a long, long time for expansions, like months and months and months to save up to be the best, to have that edge on other people, because Mythic Plus and raids don't release right away. So people are doing everything they can to get that edge, and they're going to pay a premium, like when Dragonflight just came out. They're like armor and stuff that you could never sell today, sold back then for egregious prices, like hundreds of thousands of gold. Like all mats sell for ton, and just having 3 days extra on that, the prices will fall drastically. Like if you're one of the first persons to level up and start producing those things, you're going to make a fortune. And literally every day, the prices drop by like half. It's ridiculous. So just being 3 days behind on that is huge. And like, we can't even get midnight launches anymore because there's not even physical copies. I remember TBC launch, like going out at midnight and actually standing in line with a bunch of nerds being like, dude, you can't wait for this is going to be awesome. Like just talking and stuff. And that doesn't even exist anymore. The most that we can have is everyone starting in the news zones at the same time. And Blizzard knows that. And they know that we're going to pick it up. That we have to, like, unless if we want to be behind. Then they know that. They're like, okay, well, if you want to be behind, don't pay this extra $30, And the only argument that I've seen against it is a moot argument about splitting up the player base. Which, okay, so if this was 2008 when TBC launched, yeah, maybe that was a problem. Because if you remember back in TBC launch, at the time I played on a small server, and it was still ridiculous. Like, since they released Horde and Alliance into the same area and they didn't have phasing, of course it was going to sack the servers. Really hard to get tags on enemies and stuff. But look at almost every launch after that. Horde and Alliance are either split up, or there's 2 areas that you can go to at the same time. And now that there's phasing, it doesn't even matter anymore. Look at how Dragonflight launched, almost flawlessly. Like, there wasn't hardly any problems with Dragonflight launch. I personally got a problem where I got on the Zeppelin and it didn't take me to the new place, but most people didn't. But, so you can't use that as to stop server load on launch. That's not why they're doing it. And the same thing happened with Diablo 4, but it's not the same since you don't have trading. It still sucked that if you didn't pick it up and pay the extra, I think it was like $25 extra for Diablo 4, you had to wait, I don't even know, 3 or 5 days or whatever, how long it was, to play Diablo 4. And every single Blizzard title after this is now going to have this. It's just egregious. It's a slap in the face, and they know what they're doing. Like, there's no reason to do this other than they know that it's free money for them. And I'm sorry for the rant and coming back to YouTube just to make this video, but between like a game that you have to buy plus pay a monthly sub, has hundreds of microtransactions, paid level boosts, and it makes the entire game pay to win because you can buy gold inside the game and then just pay people to run you through things. I shouldn't have expected anything else. But this game really is starting to look like, and has for a while, the South Park episode of The Cable, where they're just like, oh, sorry about that. Maybe you should go to the other company, you know? It's like all of us that enjoy high fantasy MMOs or Western style, like, where are we going to go? There's nowhere really else. You have old school RuneScape, but for a lot of us, we didn't grow up on it, so we don't have the nostalgia to make it fun. And the graphics are just really dated. And then we have Final Fantasy 14, which, you know, it's a different game in itself. Like, it's more of a story-driven game, and there's not as much content to it. You know, you log in, you do your daily raids, weekly raid, and that's about it. Maybe some RP stuff if you like that, or crafting, but there's not really a lot to do in that game once you've done it. Like World of Warcraft, you have, you know, Mythic Plus, dungeons, a really well-made trade skill system, PvP, and all those things are really fleshed out. Each one of those. PvP has 2 different kinds. You got, you know, rated battlegrounds, you got battlegrounds, and you have arena. Plus you have different tiers of raids that you can raid on multiple characters, and Mythic Plus, which is a never-ending scaling thing. So there's like so much content, and you don't get that in Final Fantasy 14. So those of us that want to play a high fantasy Western MMO with an audience that can sustain the game, we're stuck with World of Warcraft, and they know that. But that's about all I have to say about this. This is disgusting. And of course, I'm going to pay the money. I have to play the expansions. It's just... Thanks for making us into pay pigs, Blizzard. Bye, y'all.